Good Shabbos, everyone. It's great to see all of you here today as we begin the best day of the week. So we have a chance to take a break from all the news, which we definitely need at this time, to be with those we love, to be with ourselves, to be with God, to be with our Judaism. And now let us begin Shabbat with a blessing over the candles. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav Metzivanu lehadlik ner Metzivanu lehadlik ner Metzivanu lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat
Be seated. So now we welcome the angels of peace with their blessings of shalom. Shalom Aleichem, page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melechem, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchoni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now let us sing and let us go to God and let us trumpet our praise to our protector. Lechuna Radana Ladonai, the top of page 11.
Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana l'Adonai. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana l'Adonai. Naria, naria letzurishenu, nekadman banav betoda. Naria, naria letzurishenu, izmirot naria lo. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana l'Adonai. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, לכו נרנן על אדוני.
Shabbat is so great that the rabbis tell us that even the heavens and the earth and the sea rejoice at the beginning of Shabbat. Yismechu Hashamayim, page 14.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. ירמיהו, 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 לא, ירמיהו, 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 לא, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. ירמיהו, 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 לא, ירמיהו, 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 לא.
And now we continue on page 23. Lacha Dodi Likrat Kala.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמות וזכות בניגוד אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתפילה, ולתפילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מכרם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה. תחילה לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת, we rise and face the door, נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
And you may be seated. And we continue in our service at the top of page 27. Tov lahadot l'Adonai. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and to sing your name most high.
טוב, טוב, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר, ולזמר, ולזמר לשמך עליון. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר, ולזמר, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. טוב, טוב, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר, יזמר לשמך עליון. טוב, טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
Into our congregation now we welcome those who are mourning, and to those who are in mourning and those observing, well, those who are mourning, we welcome them with the words of comfort from our tradition, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem B'toch Shar Avalei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God's presence bring you comfort amongst the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. For those who are in mourning and those observing a yard site, we'll now recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 30. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'yalma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'yemru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam le'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudsha b'rechu la'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiron bi'alma v'yemru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yemru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yemru amen. Now invite everyone to rise for Baruch, page 39.
Baruchu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam abad.
You may be seated. We continue with Ahavat Olam, page 40.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, beit Yisrael, amachavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limata, al ken Adonai Eloheinu, B'shavenu v'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukecha ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, amachavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limata, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki heim echayenu ve'odech yameinu, u'bahem negei yomam v'layla, ve'yavadecha, al tasir mimenu le'olamim, baruch ata Adonai ohei amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, ve'shinantam levanecha v'divarta bam, ve'shivtecha bebeitecha v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, u'chtavetam al mezuzot beitecha, u'visharecha.
We continue silently in Hebrew or English to the bottom of page 42.
Adonai Elohechem
Our ancestors sang this song when they were finally freed from Egyptian slavery. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Who is like you, God, among the mighty? Page 44.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ובניך בוקע ים לפני משה. זה לי ענו ויאמרו, מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה. זה לי ענו ויאמרו, באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, עושה פלא, עושה פלא.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Help us, O God, to lie down in peace tonight and waken us again to life renewed tomorrow. Page 45.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום העמידנו מלכנו לחיים Page 46, we join in Vishamru. Vishamru, Israel et ha-Shabbat, asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru, Israel et ha-Shabbat, asod Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד ולאחירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. בעגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה לעילם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן ואמרו אמן ואמרו אמן ואמרו אמן אמן.
The silent Amidah, page 47 through page 52.
Page 51, Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amalcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amalcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol ha-shalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol eit ubechol sha'a bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Put our arms around each other and join in Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu. Shalom aleinu. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh Shalom aleinu. Shalom aleinu. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru. Amen. Amen. Amen.
At this time now, we offer our prayers of healing for those in our families, those in our community. We think of the U.S. servicemen and women serving as heroes in Afghanistan. We think of all those who are injured at this time as we offer a Misha Barak prayer, a prayer of healing.
Misha Barak Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing for us and all those we love. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Be seated now as we continue with the Kaddish Shalem, page 54.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ולמד יבדח חילותי ויעליק מלכותי וחי חונך ומיכון וחי לכו בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך, וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ריחו לעילה מכל אחד המשירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה לאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותו וברכתו לכל ישראל קודם עווני בשמיה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Well, Shabbat Shalom. Do you hear that? Oh, no, shoot, I was not even implying. No, I heard you. It's part of the spiel. But thank you, I love that. It's very enthusiastic. Okay, don't say anything. Do you hear that? It's the sound of silence. The silence that only comes from school starting up again. It's glorious. Sorry. There's kids over there. Now, I'm still a relatively new parent, but even I can appreciate these few hours of sweet freedom, when you can actually get work done. I'm writing this actual sermon during one of those periods right now. Or you just have a few hours to do the things that you want to do as a parent. Either way, it's freedom. The school year means freedom. For us, at least. Again, my apologies. I think I'm getting death looks over masks. But there's no such thing as a free lunch, and the school year brings its own additional tasks. You have to remember the litany of things that kids need to bring to school every day. Now, my kid is a little over 2, so he can't be expected to remember all those things he needs to bring to school every day, which means I have to do it. And it's a long list. You gotta remember the lunch, right? Goes on from there. There's a water bottle. There's a snack for the ride to school. There's a snack for the ride back from school. There's a sweater in case it's cold. There's a hat in case it's sunny, and the list goes on. Now this year, because he's moved up a grade, there's a new addition to this list of things you have to remember. Every Friday, the kids all have to bring a few coins for tzedakah. Now, on the face of it, I approve of this. Naturally, I'm a rabbi. As a parent, my first thoughts when I saw that on the list were, 1, I don't even know where I get coins, and 2, great, another thing to remember. And in those usually very frantic, annoyed moments, when I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to remember all of the stuff and look for a quarter, I think to myself, okay, so 8 kids bring a few pennies every week, or what are they seriously going to learn? What are they going to accomplish with that? I didn't say I was proud of that thought, but I do have it in my more frantic, running around moments. And truthfully, how many of us have had that thought? Perhaps in a different form, perhaps directed in other areas. Our attentions are drawn to so many places. You only have to crack open a newspaper or check your phone or the TV to see the sheer volume of need and pain in the world right now. So you would be forgiven for thinking, whatever I can do, whatever contribution I could make, it's a drop in the bucket, and there is an ocean of need out there. Ironically, buckets play a starring role in the Parsha this week. You can't make this up. Now, okay, it's a bit of a stretch. It's not buckets, actually, technically, it's baskets. Moses knows that his end is near, and as he's getting towards, this point, he's kind of sprinting through a recap of the whole Torah to the Israelites, kind of trying to touch on all the highlights. And one thing he touches on is this Bikirim festival, the holiday of first fruits. Back in the day, most of us were farmers. And also back in the day, we had a temple. And there was a rule that when your first fruits came in, your harvest, you didn't keep them for yourself. You didn't get to eat your very first fruits, your crop of the season. Instead, you brought them to the temple in a basket. And you'd leave it there. You'd never enjoy that fruit yourself. You'd never taste it. But you would leave it there as a testament to the bounty of the earth that God has helped you to enjoy. You'd even leave the basket. Our ancient rabbis were just fascinated with this rite. They really dissected the whole thing, every little part, they expounded on it. And what I find interesting in particular is what they talk about when it comes to the baskets. They write, the rich will bring their Bikirim, their first fruits, Biklatot shel kesef v'shel zahav, in baskets overlaid with gold and with silver. That makes sense, right? They got the money to spare. And even leaving those gold and silver baskets at the temple when they were done, it probably didn't put a dent in their pockets, so to speak. The rabbis continue. And the poor will bring their Bikirim b'salei netzarim, in wicker baskets. Peeled wicker baskets, it goes on to say. So we know that it was kind of a DIY project that people took on for themselves. Nothing fancy there, but the mitzvah was done. You see, Jewish tradition holds that every person, no matter how much or little they can spare, is required to give of themselves. It's literally written into our laws. Kol adam chayav litain tzedakah. Every person is obligated to give tzedakah. Afilu ani, even a poor person. Because our tradition recognizes that all of us can give something. And even if all we have to give is a tiny, tiny bit, that's great. It's enough. Same thing with your first fruits. So what if you have to bring your harvest, your bounty, and you can't do it in a fancy gold basket? What matters is the fruit inside that you are donating to the temple in God's honor out of gratitude. Your homemade wicker basket is just as sufficient because it helps. It is enough. I know it's easy to feel overwhelmed right now, looking at the news, seeing all the need everywhere, at home, abroad. It seems like it's only growing. Those who need help because of political unrest or a global pandemic or natural or man-made disasters. And I know that for me, when I do even a cursory scroll, I am bombarded when I look at the news. Millions of people, it feels like, millions of people in desperate need. And it's so overwhelmingly terrible that I feel myself going numb. It's too much terrible. And I think, what? I give $5, $18, $180 to every cause I see ask for help? To every group that I know needs assistance? What could it really do my $5, my $18, my $180. What difference could it make? But Judaism reminds us that we don't have the privilege of becoming inured to the pain of our family, of our friends, of our neighbors, of the world. And that giving tzedakah of any amount helps remind us of our own humanity. It's not about how glorious our basket is, it's the giving that matters. And even just a small amount that rabbis are fond of saying, Adam notein pruta, even if a person gives pennies for tzedakah, they merit to receive God's own presence. What we are capable of doing, that is sufficient. It is enough. We are enough. Our ability to help others in their time of need, it is enough if only we have the courage to remember and then act on it. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Rabbi Fort. Very important message to help us in the days and weeks ahead, and especially as we go through the upcoming high holidays. And now let us return to our service. We rise for the Aleinu, page 56.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומה שמקרוב השמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אינו, אמת מלכנו וזולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Now we invite all those in mourning and all those observing a Yahrzeit to remain standing for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. And this week at Beth Yeshurun, we offer condolences to the families of Robert Koresh, Samuel Sakowitz, Herman Litt, Mary Neal Bleeker, and the families of all the servicemen and women murdered in Afghanistan. Page 58. Yitzgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrach yirutei v'yamlich machutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh tekol beit Yisrael, ba'agalav b'zman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei amaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudusha b'richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tishbechata v'nechemata damiram v'yama v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. We're honored this evening to celebrate 2 anniversaries. Both couples are celebrating 56 years of marriage. One couple is with us, and one couple is watching online. First, to the couple that's with us, celebrating their 56th wedding anniversary, our friends Susan and Michael Bloom. Mazel tov. You're blessed this past year to have traveled to San Francisco back in May to celebrate your granddaughter's bat mitzvah. And it was in person and family and friends. It was a beautiful event outside, and I know how much pleasure that brought to you. You celebrated your first grandchild Amanda's high school graduation, and she's just starting school at Emerson in Boston. And I want to add as well your son, who just finished an extraordinary term as our president of this congregation. May your children and grandchildren continue to bring you only blessings tonight as you celebrate 56 years of marriage. Mazel tov. And also celebrating 56, we miss them this evening, but we know they're watching online, our friends Bernard and Ethel Nelkin. Mazel tov. In this past year, your older son and his wife and 2 daughters were able to come visit for a few days from Maryland, and your youngest son was able to come and visit for a few days from New York. And they hadn't been here for several years, and I know you loved seeing them. We wish you refuah shlema, Bernard, and may both of you continue to enjoy years of blessing and peace and only life simchas as tonight you celebrate 56 years of marriage. Mazel tov. So I'm going to call upon my colleagues to begin our announcements. First, Rabbi Fort, and then Rabbi Morgan.
Well, hello again. We have so many amazing folks raising Jewish children who didn't grow up Jewish themselves. They're either not Jewish or they're Jews by choice. And for these amazing folks, I'm offering a 3-part series. It's part kind of talk space, part learning and education information. We're giving out copies of Anita Diamond's book, How to Raise a Jewish Child. And you can get that either physical copy or a Kindle copy. If you need to register, it's starting on Tuesday at 7 p.m. It's on Zoom. If you haven't registered yet and you still want to, we can definitely still send you a Kindle copy of the book. So if you or someone you know is not Jewish or is a Jew by choice and raising Jewish children, we thank you and we love you and we hope to see you there. In addition, Splish Splash Lichot, we are still optimistic that 50% chance of thunderstorms for tomorrow will be on the not thunderstormy side. So hopefully all goes well, and we have tomorrow Splish Splash Lichot at the splash pad where BYDS graciously letting us use that space. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be nice and cool, and it won't be storming. Check the website if you've registered or you were just thinking about coming and you didn't register. Check the website before you head out just to make sure we're still on. So hopefully that will be still on for tomorrow, 5:30. We got dinner, we got treats, we have fun stuff. It's going to be a good time, and there is a rain date if we do end up having to move a little bit on and it's the wrong side of the 50% chance of storms.
So tomorrow night, right before we change the ark curtain and the mantles on the Torahs for Slichot service, at 8:15 we're going to be showing a documentary film about the reconstruction of a wooden synagogue in Poland from the 18th century. So all they had was sketches, a couple black and white photographs, and 1 or 2 paintings. And a bunch of artisans from all over the world cut down trees, planed the wood, nailed them all together using only the equipment that was available in the 18th century to build these buildings. And then they painted it using pigments that were used in the 18th century to make colors. And they recreated this beautiful synagogue from Poland, which is now in a museum in Poland. It's called, the film is called Raise the Roof, and we'll be showing that first. And then Bernice Halbrin, who is one of our congregants, who also happens to have done a lot of research on synagogue architecture and artwork, is going to give a talk about it afterwards for about 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to come in here and have the service. So we hope you'll join us as we begin the new year, raising the roof and changing the mantles.
Thank you, Rabbi Ford and Rabbi Morgan. And that brings me, of course, to the high holidays, which, hard to believe, begin a week from this Monday night, Rosh Hashanah, and then Yom Kippur. And we are very blessed with our large spaces. Our medical advisors have given us the go-ahead to be open for the high holidays, and we feel it's very, very safe to be here. Otherwise, we would not hold high holiday services in person. We want you to be here. We feel it's comfortable. The Pulaski routes will be entirely open. We're actually going to be projecting the service on different screens and the walls, so no matter where you're sitting, you'll have a nice view of the service. You do have to wear a mask, but if you need a little break from that, of course, you can step outside, go outside, you go out in the hallways. If you need to take the mask off for a few minutes, we understand. We're also shortening the service just a little bit because we know it's not always so comfortable wearing a mask for an extended amount of time. We're not having a choir, but we're very blessed to bring in an incredible accompanist all the way from Toronto, Canada, that the cantor knows very well, and he's highly recommended. The cantor will be here, thank God. I won't have to sing, so you've got to get to hear him in person. That's worth a big clap, right? David Stein's going to speak. We've got some nice surprises. We've got the teens leading different parts of the service, young people, people of all ages. We've got our traditional shofar blowers. My colleagues and I will be giving sermons. We think this is going to be the beautiful, majestic, high holiday service that you've come to expect over the decades here at Beth Yeshurun, and we'd love to see you here. All the times are on our website. Hopefully you got your ticket in the mail. You do have to have a ticket to enter the building. But if you have any questions, just give us a call at the office, and we'd love to see you here for really the most incredible time of the year here at Beth Yeshurun, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And with that, we're ready to bring our service to a close. And let's bless our precious children that are with us and that are watching online. We bless our sons. We say to our sons, Yesimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'ke'Menashe. May God bless our sons like Ephraim and Menashe and all the wonderful sons of the Jewish tradition. And for our daughters, we say, Yesimech Elohim ke'Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May God bless our daughters like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, and all the precious daughters of our Jewish tradition. And may God bless all of our children with shalom, with peace always. And let us say, Amen. Please now rise for the Kiddush, and afterwards, I'll see you out in the Sukkah courtyard.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodesho v'yava uvratzon inchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, yotanu kirashta, mikol hamim, v'shabat kodshecha, v'ahava u'v'ratzon, inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh HaShabbat. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat.